If you're trying to grow a podcast right now, especially in the B2B and the finance space, it's a safe bet that the reason you're not growing isn't due to the quality of your conversations. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the 3 pillars of content that most content is grouped into online so you can give a better sense of how to reverse engineer them and promote your podcast. Hey everyone, my name's Quinn. I'm here with the Podcast Consultant, and you're watching the first episode in 2026 of Podcast Pro Tips. If you're looking out at the year ahead and you don't understand the 3 main pillars of content online and how to leverage them to grow your podcast, it's probably going to be a rough year. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a future video, and be sure to stick around until the end as we'll be doing case studies breaking down the content pillars in more detail. So grab a pen and paper, bust out a notepad, and without further delay, let's dive in. So here's something I actually want you to answer honestly. Why does someone press play on your podcast? Seriously, think about it. Not what you want it to be and not what you think it should be, but why would they actually listen? Similar to social media, when it comes to podcasting, most shows tend to fall into 3 distinct categories. You're either inspiring your audience, you're entertaining them, or you're educating them. None of these are better than the others, and some shows actually do a few of these things quite well. But it's important to understand which one of these best represents your content, because that's going to give you an idea on how you position yourself online. Let me give you a few examples to explain what I'm getting at. An example of an inspirational podcast would be Retained Trust. Retained Trust is a look into the entrepreneurial journey of up-and-comers, specifically when it comes to scaling digital service businesses. Very clear niche, and they tend to be inspirational. After listening to an episode, you want to go and continue to build your business and work on your dream. This type of podcast reminds people why they're doing what they're doing, and helps them see that their dreams are possible. If someone's listening to your show and they feel more aligned, more confident, and just have a fire in their heart to go chase their dream, the chances are you have an inspirational podcast. Next up, we have entertainment shows. In the world of finance, if you've been around and are in the podcast space, you've probably heard of the show Animal Spirits. Animal Spirits tends to focus on finance in a current event style, but it's also super funny because the hosts aren't afraid to take jabs at each other and laugh along the way. It's like sitting in on a great conversation of a couple friends who happen to work in finance and they're grabbing a beer after work. People hang around because they're learning, but they also hang around because they're enjoying themselves. These types of shows tend to lean on cultural awareness and humor without dumbing anything down. If people are pressing play because it feels relevant to listen to you right now and having a laugh doing it, chances are you have an entertainment show. And last but not least, there are educational podcasts. There are few shows in the finance space that have managed to capture such an audience as that of Patrick O'Shaughnessy's Invest Like the Best. This is probably one of the most listened to shows because you learn so much. People listen exclusively because they want to learn about founders, markets, creators, you name it. The episodes give people a deeper understanding and sharpens the decisions they might want to make. It goes without saying, if people walk away from your episodes feeling smarter, you're in the education sphere. Okay, so with all that in mind, when it comes to taking your show and promoting it online, here's the thing. Your podcast's identity should guide the style of content you make to promote it. A lot of content creators try to be everything all at once, and while it may seem like a good idea, it's actually confusing the signals and the algorithms on who to attract and show your content to. And similar to when you produce your show, that's where the 3 pillars come in. As you might have guessed, the 3 pillars will be the same in social media content as they are in choosing your podcast. Are you entertaining? Are you inspiring? Or are you educating? These aren't just categories though. It's important to think of these as means of distribution, because the more you post a certain thing, the more the algorithms learn who is engaging with it, who's watching it, and will try to show it to more of that type of person. And while the pillars are similar to podcasts in theory, I want to break each of them down just to get a bit more specific. So first up, we have educational content. On social media, this might translate as explaining one idea clearly, maybe breaking down a misconception, or you share a singular framework or lesson. An important rule to follow here is that you don't want to have too many ideas in a post, and you're probably better off just focusing on one. And once you post it, if someone has to re-watch it to understand what you're saying, maybe it's a bit too heady for a short social media post. After that, we have inspirational content. Inspirational content builds loyalty because people aren't just connecting with the ideas, but they're actually connecting with you. You become someone who inspires them through the ideas you share. So promotional content in this vein might look more like reflections, ideas, an emotional turning point in your journey, or even a personal lesson that you found valuable. People that engage with this type of content aren't necessarily just looking for the idea, but they're looking to feel something and connect. And then last but not least, we have entertainment. This one might speak for itself, but we're going to dig into it anyway. Entertainment content earns attention. That doesn't mean it's not serious, but it means it's shareable. Some of the most shared content online are things that make people laugh. But in our context, this might show up like commentary on a headline, a contrarian take, or a moment of humor and tension in a podcast. Applying the 3 content pillar framework to your podcast is not only going to help you with the why, but it's also going to help you with the who that you want to attract with your content. And once you understand all of this, you can start making short form clips, quotes, tweets, all that type of stuff. Do we even call it tweets anymore? I don't even know. But that's going to all become part of the top of funnel growth engine that will drive listeners to your podcast. Otherwise, you're just casting a wide net and hoping for the best. I want to zoom out and show you examples of 3 different creators who do this very well. They don't necessarily have podcasts or drive people to them, but they're masters of getting attention, and then once they have your attention, activating you to go do something. So the same principles are going to apply here. First up, if you have spent any time on the internet, you have probably heard of Alex Hormozi. Alex tends to lead most of its content with education, but there's also an inspirational undertone. Clear frameworks, simple language, straight to the point. You get a sense that he respects your time while also providing value to you. But layered under that value is the inspirational component, disciplined, long-term thinking, and earned confidence. For podcasters, the takeaway is pretty simple. Find those moments in the conversation that you clearly explain something, and if someone was listening to it who had no idea what the episode was about, would be able to take something away from that. And if they feel inspired at the same time, that's a bonus. Clarity scales, and Alex's entire brand is built around it. He teaches you what you need to know, and then lights a fire under you to go do something with that information. Education and inspiration. It's a pretty deadly duo. Next up, we have one of Gen Z's most famous financial TikTokers, Kyla Scanlon. If your algorithm is at all geared towards finance and maybe the odd meme, chances are you've seen Kyla's content as well. Kyla uses humor, tone, and cultural awareness to get people to stop scrolling, laugh a lot, and actually learn about complicated topics in finance, economics, and all of that. It's the entertainment component that grabs your attention, and once she has it, she educates you. For podcasters, this is actually a good reminder. The top of funnel discovery stuff you're posting, it doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, the more you humanize it, the more it becomes relatable and people are more likely to want to connect with you. In Kyla's case, reaction clips, commentary, and not being at all afraid to get silly has worked out very well for her and has built her a massive platform. And last but not least, we have Naval Ravikant. His content is nothing short of inspirational and soothing. That said though, Naval almost does the opposite of the other creators. He's all about minimal production, slow pacing, and deep and timeless ideas. People share his content because it makes them pause and reflect. It's inspiring in a way that slows the world down and brings you into this really intimate moment. For podcasters, a good lesson here is that stillness can often outperform noise. Not everything needs to be chasing a moment, and timeless ideas will always compound over time. So, with all of that said, here's what I suggest your podcast framework for 2026 should be. First, your podcast is the foundation of your content. It's important to understand who you are and what position you want to take in the 3 content pillars. And then once you know that, you'll be able to build a top-of-funnel content strategy that's going to help you attract the right audience by positioning yourself properly on social media. It's also worth stating, and you may have picked this up in the case studies, but you don't actually have to choose between one of the 3. It's just important to pick one to lead with. But none of what I just said matters if you don't have a high-quality podcast, because all of the formats and content strategies and everything won't really matter if you're driving people to an end product that just isn't that strong. Fortunately, that's where we come in. If you're thinking about launching a show this year or trying to improve your existing one, you can actually book a free discovery call with us at the Podcast Consultant in the link below. We'd love to help you on your podcast journey any way we can, and our entire team of professionals will be able to help execute on your vision at any level you see fit. If you learned something today or actually want me to explain something in a bit more detail, please don't hesitate to just drop it in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If I don't hear from you soon, wishing everyone out there a solid 2026 and happy recording.